Papa is coming.
Malik Omar Zaman and his family moved to Hong Kong from Pakistan 6 years ago. They live in a 350 square foot apartment in Yuen Long, one of the less expensive districts in Hong Kong. They looked at about 50 apartments in more than a month before they finally got to rent this one.
I believe that 30-40 times we finalized the apartment and then agent told us the landlord is not willing to give you.
According to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. But this is not what's happening in Hong Kong. A survey in 2018 conducted by Hong Kong Unison and Hong Kong Refugee Ministry Group found that over 90% of the 140 ethnic minority respondents said they experienced discrimination when they're looking for a place to live. Malik contacted many agents and landlords. He also tried websites and social medias.
The agent clearly told us that the landlord is not willing to give apartment to ethnic minorities.
Some of the landlords demanded to see his employment record and tax information, and even then, most of them would say no. Hong Kong Unison is a charity for ethnic minorities. Stories like Malik's, they say, are all too common. The Zubin Foundation, an NGO that seeks opportunities for ethnic minorities, says Hong Kong people often have a negative impression of ethnic minorities.
They have like stereotypes about ethnic minorities having parties every night, or they would be very loud, they always cooked like smelly foods. So all this sort of comments that they have been receiving over the past years. But again, reminding you, this is the first impression that we get from phone calls.
The agent authority says, though, they have tried to educate estate agents and set guidelines to comply with the racial discrimination ordinance. But Hong Kong Unison says the agents often ignore the guidelines.
Because landlords know they don't want to rent to someone in that ethnicity, and they would just try and make another demand asking for the passport, and sure enough, the person doesn't hold a Hong Kong SAR passport, and they use the excuse because they won't fall under the law, and they know it.
The Equal Opportunities Commission handles complaints about racial discrimination, but bringing a case to court is easier said than done.
We have seen agents very outrightly say, we don't rent to Pakistanis, go away. Very outrightly. A lot of times because they don't have enough evidence, because from the EOC point of view, the complainant has to provide the evidence of racial discrimination. So this is actually a gap in the law.
This is Hong Kong's Tsim Sha Tsui district. There's a high concentration of South Asians here. Many of these families have been in Hong Kong for more than a century. Some of them moved here, for example, from India when both places were under British rule. So they are Hong Kongers in every single way.
We are planning to publish a booklet and hoping that when ethnic minorities read the booklet and know their rights, then they know how to tackle the situation.
Although Malik had a tough time finding an apartment, his experience of living in Hong Kong has generally been positive. The Zubin Foundation wants the government itself to set an example.
They should hire ethnic minority more, have them in public services so that people can see ethnic minority faces, and also to have them more on their promotional material, set a scene or set a sample of like an international city with different colors of faces.